In the isolated town of Ravenswood, nestled deep within the icy embrace of the mountains, a chilling snowstorm descended upon the unsuspecting residents. The wind howled through the skeletal branches of ancient trees, and the air was thick with an otherworldly silence that set the stage for a night of terror. As the first snowflakes began to fall, a sense of unease gripped the town. The weather forecast had predicted a typical winter storm, but this was no ordinary blizzard. It carried an eerie energy that sent shivers down the spines of those who dared to venture outside. Among the townsfolk was Emma, a young woman with a penchant for curiosity. Drawn to the window by the hypnotic dance of snowflakes, she peered into the white abyss that now surrounded her home. Unbeknownst to Emma, shadows stirred in the swirling snow, casting sinister shapes against the frosted glass. As the night deepened, the power flickered and died, plunging Ravenswood into an inky blackness. Emma's heart raced as the darkness swallowed her home, leaving only the cold whispers of the wind as her companions. With a shaky breath, she lit a single candle, its feeble flame casting long, dancing shadows on the walls. Outside, the snowstorm intensified, creating an impenetrable wall of white. Emma's phone remained stubbornly silent, the isolation echoing in the hollow spaces of her home. Desperation set in as she realized she was alone, cut off from the rest of the world. In the distance, a haunting melody echoed through the howling wind, a mournful tune that sent shivers down Emma's spine. She strained to identify the source, but the sound seemed to emanate from the very fabric of the storm itself. Fear constricted her chest as she fumbled for a flashlight, the feeble beam revealing strange symbols etched into the frost on her window. Driven by a growing dread, Emma bundled up in layers of clothing and ventured outside into the relentless storm. The snow crunched beneath her boots as she stumbled through the blinding whiteness. The distant melody guided her, each haunting note pulling her deeper into the heart of the storm. Ravenswood had transformed into a ghostly landscape, with shadows dancing in the periphery and strange figures emerging from the swirling snow. Emma's breath caught as she glimpsed spectral shapes, their features obscured by the relentless storm. She pressed on, driven by an otherworldly compulsion that gripped her very soul. The melody led her to the town's abandoned church, its ancient spire barely visible through the thick snowfall. The doors creaked open with an eerie groan, revealing a cavernous interior illuminated by a pale, flickering light. The source of the haunting melody became apparent. An old, weathered piano stood in the center of the nave, its keys moving of their own accord. As Emma approached the instrument, a spectral figure materialized beside it, a woman draped in tattered, frost-covered garments. Her eyes glowed with an unnatural light as she played the melancholic tune, her fingers dancing across the keys with ethereal grace. "Emma," the ghostly figure whispered, the sound carried by the wind. "You've come to witness the reckoning." The chilling words sent a wave of terror through Emma, but she found herself unable to turn away. The ghostly pianist spoke of a curse that had befallen Ravenswood, a curse woven into the very fabric of the storm. The town's dark history had awakened, seeking retribution for sins long forgotten. As the ghostly woman continued to play, the symbols on the church windows began to glow, pulsating with an otherworldly energy. Emma felt a powerful force enveloping her, binding her to the spectral performance. The storm outside raged with newfound intensity, as if nature itself responded to the ancient curse. In the midst of the haunting melody, memories long buried in the town's collective consciousness surfaced. Whispers of betrayal, greed, and unspeakable acts echoed through the church, painting a grim portrait of Ravenswood's past. Emma's mind became a battleground of terror and revelation as she grappled with the weight of the sins that had brought the storm upon them. As the ghostly pianist reached the crescendo of her spectral performance, the very foundations of the church trembled. Shadows coalesced into nightmarish forms, and the temperature plummeted to an unbearable chill. Emma, caught in the grip of the supernatural force, felt the essence of the curse seeping into her very being. Just as the town stood on the precipice of doom, Emma's resolve surged. With a desperate plea, She begged the ghostly woman to release Ravenswood from the clutches of the ancient curse. The pianist's eyes softened, and for a fleeting moment the storm abated. The symbols on the windows dimmed, and the spectral figures retreated into the swirling snow. As the last echoes of the haunting melody faded, Emma found herself alone in the dark.